Shalom. I just want to start the video by saying that I suck at math, I suck at physics, and I suck at finances. I really mean it. I really do suck at those subjects. Even though I've taken all of those subjects in high school. And let me tell you, no matter how much effort I put into studying these things, there's always that one kid in class who will beat me because they were naturally gifted at numbers. They didn't have to study as hard as I was studying. They barely put in any efforts. Maybe they're just more efficient at it, but I refuse to believe that their way of studying is better than me, because I really did try hard. I really tried hard. And my good marks was the result of me trying really hard. So it didn't come to me naturally. I actually had to put in so much effort for so little return. You know, there are people out there who can crush me at these math problems, and they don't even have to study as hard as me. That's life, isn't it? That's life. In life, there will be these disparities, these unfairness. Some people are just naturally gifted at certain things. And I'm not saying this to make you feel down, to invalidate your effort, to say that all of your efforts have been in vain. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, no matter how much effort you put into something, there will always be someone better than you. And they were just born that way. They were just born to be good at those things. And that's their advantage. And you, my friend, have something that those people do not have. But you just got to find it. There's something about solving problems that is just so satisfying, you know? Sure, I might suck at math, but at the end of the day, when I found out how to solve a problem, and when I get the correct answer, it gives me a massive dopamine boost. If I take these lines of thought and I apply it to real world problems, you also get a massive dopamine boost when you solve a real world problem. In math, it's so objective. You either get the right answer or you don't. There are certain answers that you can give to a problem to make it a right answer, you know? And in order to solve these problems, you need to know relevant theories and concepts, and you have to apply it to the problem. You know, the quadratic formula. What else? That's all I know, to be honest. Yeah. In real life, however, because life is so complex, there are many variables at hand. There are many variables to a problem. And in order to solve a real world problem, there are multiple approaches. In other words, there are multiple solutions to a problem. It is not as objective as math. I'll give you an example. My bench press is a real world problem. I suck at bench pressing. Why do I suck at the bench press, you may ask? Well, I'm going to give my excuses. I have long limbs, so long arms and perhaps even long legs. I have very low muscle mass. I struggle to put on meaningful weights. And thirdly, my techniques suck balls. I do not know how to lift properly because I do not have relevant experience. I don't live to make money. I do not take this as seriously as someone who has to compete, you know. Yeah, so that's my problem. What are the solutions? I don't know, man. I could either hire a coach and that's my problem solved. They will solve my problem for me. But that is not satisfying enough. I want to do this myself. I want to coach myself, you know. It's a very bold claim to make as a complete beginner, but I think it's necessary for everyone to eventually coach themselves. I'm doing that right now. I'm learning about myself. I'm learning about my body. What works, what doesn't work. And I don't really know this until my feet touch the ground, until I have really been in the trenches. And this is a choice that I'm willing to make. Sure, I do not know everything, but I do know that I could tweak a few things with my techniques in order to get my bench press more efficient, as evidenced by what I did today. I brought my feet closer to my body, dropped my knees lower than my hip joints, and suddenly my torso feels a bit more rigid. I feel more tight. I have a more stable base to push from. And so everything feels so, I don't know, so precise. Bench press feels so easy because my torso is so rigid, you know? It's very hard to move my body now that my feet and butts and everything is connected. I do not have that butt popping off the bench problem anymore because my hip, it's all about the hip, man. I feel so tight. And it feels so good that I'm feeling like I'm going somewhere. I think I have it figured out. Maybe not, but I'm getting closer to it. And here's the thing. I don't need to have it all figured out. I just need to have some solutions, some ways to go about it to alleviate these symptoms. I'm not going to solve the problem straight away. I know that. But the more wins I have in this thing, the more motivation I get, and the more willing I am to tackle the more difficult questions later on. The more difficult question is, how can I get my bench press to 140 kilogram, aka 3 plates? But with this little tweaking techniques, I already feel more motivated. I already feel more sure in myself. And unfortunately, even with all of this knowledge, I know that I will not beat someone who is naturally gifted at the bench press, someone who has superior genetics, someone who has superior leverages. If those people put in the same amount of effort as me, perhaps even more, and they are more dedicated than me, they have their lifetime dedicated to this lift, they could beat me in a second. There will be no contest. But this is about me. I am solving a problem that I'm facing with. I'm dealing with my own problem, and I'm finding a solution to it. And that's all that matters. I'm not here to beat anyone. I'm here to solve my problems, and it gives me tremendous joy. You wouldn't understand it. As always, if you're still watching, stay strong, God bless, I love you all, and I'll speak to you shortly. Peace.